Hey, this is Shaoshan the Infernal General here again, coming at you with another deck profile. This one I am doing is a Paleonoids deck profile, so it's a kind of a typical Infernoid deck profile, but I mixed in a little bit of Paleozoic in there. It works pretty well from the test plays that I've done with it so far. It's nice to be able to make a Devyaty and a Toad in the same turn, so that's pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best deck ever or anything, but it works pretty well. And you know, there could be some things altered here and there, but I'm enjoying how it's working out so far. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get you into the deck profile, and maybe you can look at it, try it out, maybe change some things up that you think that might make it better. Who knows? Anyways, I play Triple Decatron. All Infernoid decks play Triple Decatron. It's your normal summon of the deck. So, yeah. Then we play Double Devyaty for blowing up backboard and negating monster effects. And we also play Double Anunku for blowing up monsters and negating spell and trap effects. They also banish the things when they do that, for anyone who doesn't know. It's pretty great. The other two of Infernoids, I play two Setsmiths. I play double Harmodic, played double Petrulia, and that is it for the ones that I play two of. So Setsmith can banish cards when it is involved in battle at the end of the battle phase. Harmodic and Petrulia. Harmodic is the one who pops monsters, so you target a monster on your opponent's side of the field and you destroy it. Petrulia does the same thing for spells or traps. The difference with the Harmodic and Petrulia, as opposed to the bigger ones, is that you can only special summon these ones if they're in your hand. Also, when they use their effects, you cannot attack with them in the same turn. So, something to keep in mind. For the one of Infernoids, I play one Atandale. He basically gets a double attack if he inflicts damage, or is it just when he destroys an opponent's monster, he can attack again, basically. Then we have Sajet. When Sajet declares an attack, you can banish a monster from your opponent's extra deck, which is kind of cool. They get to choose. It would be more fun if it was random, but it's all good. Then we play one Antra. Like Harmodic and Petrulia, this one you have to special summon from your hand. The cool thing about the ones you special summon from your hand is that every single one of them only requires you to banish one Infernoid monster. So like your level 4, the 2, 3, and 4 require you banishing one Infernoid. Then your 6s, your 7, and your 8 all require you to banish 2 Infernoids. Then Devyaty and Anunku require you to banish 3. That's one thing that kind of does come up some with this deck, is that sometimes you just banish so many of your Infernoids that you can't make plays anymore, and that can be pretty stressful when you get into that situation. I was thinking about playing Burial from a Different Dimension or something like that in here because of that, but I don't know about that. Anyways, this is it for the Infernoid lineup, and it's also it for the monsters. Yeah, that's about, I think it's 16 monsters to be exact. No, I've considered, maybe maining some different normal summon targets, but I just haven't gotten around to that because I think it might be better to just put those kind of monsters in a side deck. Maybe if I'm going to like a locals or something, I'll throw in a random, maybe like a barrier statue of the Inferno or something like that, just for the fun. We got triple Void Vanishment. Basically, with this card, you discard a card from your hand and you search a Void spell or trap card. In my opinion, the Void Vanishment is the best Void spell or trap card, so I play 3 of it. I also play 3 Void Imagination. I was trying this out at 2 for a bit, but then I found a couple instances where I really could have used the third one, so I did throw the third one in here. And I took out Card of Demise because I tried Card of Demise, but not being able to special something is a really bad thing in this deck, so I didn't stick with Card of Demise. But yeah, Void Imagination's good. It makes your... Other than Decatron, any of your Infernoid monsters, which are level 2 or higher, become level 1 instead. So they don't have to deal with their restrictions of only being able to be summoned if the total effect monster levels are 8 or lower. This also is able to fusion summon your Tiara, which is a big boss, but also Tiara can be a little bad sometimes, because sometimes she kind of gets stuck on your field. If you ever find yourself in a situation like that, one way to deal with it is to have a banishment up, attack with TR, and then banish your TR on whatever you're attacking, like a DD Warrior Lady sort of thing. Yeah. Anyways, next we got the 3 Monster Gate. Monster Gate, you tribute 1 monster. Also, since it does say tribute, like if you have Layer of Darkness up, you can tribute your opponent's monster to use Monster Gate. And then you excavate cards from the top of your deck until you find a monster that can be normal summoned or set, and then you special summon in it, and any other cards you excavate are sent to the graveyard. So, it's really nice. Better than Reasoning, really, because your opponent doesn't get the choice. I played 2 Pot of Extravagance. You could run 3. I kind of feel like 3 can be bricky sometimes, so I only like to play 2. If I ever get my hands on Pot of Disparity, Extravagance is coming out for Disparity right away. I've pretended these are disparities here and there just to see, and it is a lot better than Extravagance. You only get 1 card, but you get to choose the card from like the top 6 cards of your deck, and that's kind of busted. Next, I play 3 Layer of Darkness. This card's great. It turns all monsters on the field into dark monsters, and you contribute monsters from your opponent's side of the field to activate your Infernoid effects. It's really great. It makes the deck so much better. We also play 1 copy of Terraforming to search out the Layer of Darkness. Also to thin the deck a little bit. Play 1 copy of Reasoning. This is a pretty good starter. There's a very good chance that people are going to call 1 because you play Decatron, and Infernoids is one of the only decks that actually plays Reasoning. But, you know, if they call 1, and it's not that big of a deal, because another reason that you play Reasoning is to thin through your deck. The only thing that sucks is if they call 1 and then Decatron's like at the top of your deck. That does happen sometimes, but I find that it's more useful than it is not. Okay, so for the Void Trap, I play 1 copy of Void Feast. I might bump this up to 2 eventually, but I am liking it at 1 so far. You have to have a Void Spell or Trap card, so I find that it's a tiny bit more situational. I can definitely... also, you can search with Void Vanishment, so... generally, that's the way you're going to get the Void Feast, so I find that I only need 1. And then I get into the Paleozoics. I play 3 copies of Dynamiscus. More banishing of things by discarding a card from your hand. Sometimes this is dead because you do go through your hand kind of quick sometimes, but I still find that it's pretty good. Then we play 3 copies of Leoncolia. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, he targets... Is it a monster? It's any banished card. He can target a banished card and return it to the graveyard. You could use this for like your Omega, any of your Infernoids. It's pretty great. It can help you extend some plays too. And also, since they are Paleozoics, you know, you can use them to make Toad also. And if you're playing against an opponent who has like a trap deck, it becomes that much better. At least I found that it has. Then I also play 1 copy of Paleozoic Paleonoids. He's a spell and trap removal. I could consider maybe playing 2 of them, but I found so far that having 1 is fine, because usually if I don't have Paleonoids, I'm just blowing things up with Devyaty anyways, so it's not as important. But that does it for the main deck, and we're going to go on to the extra deck now. I am needing a few cards in here, so I will let you know about them as I get to them. But first of all, we do play 3 copies of Infernoid TR. I'm using Avramax as the 3rd because I don't have a 3rd TR yet. I'm going to get one eventually. But just imagine this as being 3 TR for now. And Avermax is still a fine enough card for the time being. Next, I play 3 copies of Totally Awesome for the Toad plays. I'm using a Dante right now, which he's not bad for the deck either. He can help you mill things. He doesn't come up very often, but he can come up. But being able to make Toad in this deck is really nice. It just gives you more control, which is what you want to do with Infernoids, is you want to control the game. Next, we play triple copies of Elder Entity Unts, using an Appaloosa for now, but she's going to get their copy of Unts eventually. You send this card to the graveyard with your Tiara, and for each Unts you send, you get to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field. It's great. Next, I play 3 copies, well, right now it's 2 copies of Opabinia and 1 copy of Anomalocaris, but I want to make this 3 copies of Opabinia because I find that it's better, especially in a deck like this, which isn't focusing on special summoning level 2 monsters. It's only level 2 monsters are the Antra and the Paleozoics that you play in the deck. Alright, and for the 1-ofs, I play 1 copy of IP Masquerena. This is a card that I'm probably going to keep in the deck regardless, because IP can be good. I play 1 Nightmare Unicorn for the IP Nightmare Unicorn combo. And you can still discard stuff, which is really nice too. And then I, of course, play 1 copy of Cyframe Lord Omega, because you have to play Cyframe Lord Omega in this deck. You can use it to banish a card from your opponent's hand. If it goes to the graveyard, you can return it to your deck, as well as another card in your graveyard, which is really nice. But yeah, it's overall just really good. And that really does it for the deck profile. So that is the Paleonoid deck profile. If you're interested, try it out for yourself and see what you think about it. But that just about does it. I don't have a side deck made for this yet. I'd like to make one eventually. I have some ideas. Thinking of throwing some normal summons into the side decks to kind of throw people off in game 2 when they already know that I'm playing Infernoids and my only normal summon is Decatron. Considering some things maybe like Necroface or Barrier Statue of the Inferno. Maybe something like a Spell Canceller, an Archlord Christia, something like that. I think it'd be really nice to trip up some opponents. But that does it for the deck profile. Thank you for watching.